Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Crystal and this is my social thread. So today's vlog is going to be my April makes vlog where I go through all of the garments that I made in the month of April. April was another busy month for me because I also co-hosted the challenge Selfless So April 22 challenge, which actually finished yesterday, which was a Saturday, the 30th of April. Today is now the 1st of May, Sunday, and it's almost midnight, and I am videoing this around midnight. And also I was feeling a bit poorly last week, and last week was supposed to be earmarked for making two of my last April plans makes, and that was the Adeline dress by Forget Me Not Patterns, and also the handbag, the leather kit handbag that I got from bagsandpieces.co.uk, sorry. But unfortunately I wasn't able to make those. So in terms of my April plans, I haven't completed all of them, but I will show you what I have made. First and foremost, what I'm wearing, this is the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra. This is the long sleeve version that I have on here with the elasticated cuffs in a beautiful William Morris small scale dressmaking print, Strawberry Thief. And I love this dress. You've seen this before, but I'm wearing this today. And let's go through my first make. So the first make of the month was, in no particular order actually, the first thing I made was this Harper cardigan. Oh, that doesn't look very nice, my overlocking there. So this is the Harper cardigan by Sinclair Patterns. It is a free online PDF pattern by Sinclair Patterns, and it's made up in a beautiful knitted fabric from Pound Fabrics in their dusky pink colourway. And it's the first time I've made this cardigan, although it is very popular on Instagram, and I really do enjoy wearing it. It has pockets at the bottom as well, and it's got a bottom band and then like a collar band all the way across and some cuffs. So the pattern is this, and basically for a free pattern it is actually very good because it has a lot of variations. It has the cropped cardigan variation, then you've got the classic length, then the long line, and then the duster length. Sorry, that's been cut off. I went for the long line cardigan, which hits me just below the bum area, which is what I like for a long line cardigan. On top of that, it also has three different sort of size variations, in that you can have you can choose between petite, regular and tall in terms of height, so therefore you don't have to be doing shortening and lengthening lines as such, because you can choose between regular, tall and petite. So that's really good. So the instructions were fairly straightforward. The fabric wasn't the best to work with because it is like a knitted, actual knitted fabric. As you can see, it wasn't the best to work with because the ends were fraying quite a lot. Also, I have worn and washed this probably around 4 or 5 times this month, and what I found in the seams, oh, I can show you a little bit there now actually, where one of the threads, I guess it's kind of like in crochet or in knitting, if you lose one of the hoops it all just starts to ladder, and that's a new hole that I've just not seen. And what I can do is I can get that little loop there with a crochet hook and try and hook it back in and then overlock it again at the seam there. I have done that already on the other side. So a similar thing happened on that side, and that's actually all beautifully enclosed again. So I did use a crochet hook, and I basically imitated sort of the knitting or the crochet technique to get the fabric back together, and then I overlocked it again and that hole is gone there. So in terms of the fabric, I'm not sure, I guess it's the nature of the fabric. There's no getting away from, you know, if something gets hooked or if one of the threads are loose or cut or, you know, somehow damaged, then the whole thing will start to unravel. But I guess you have that with all knitted garments. So that was make number 1. Just to say, for all my regular followers, most of this will be a repetition because you have seen these items before on my Friday sews, but I am going through all of the garments in detail with the patterns for the benefit of new viewers, so I hope you don't mind. So the second make I made again not in order, is my Highlands wrap dress, which I really love. This is my favourite make so far, well, because it's my latest make. And it's done in a beautiful linen chambray from Lady McElroy Fabrics. And I think this is called Life of Venice. And I first saw this fabric on the Great British Sewing Bee a couple of seasons ago. And I think one of the contestants had it in their viscose base, or viscose base. And I bought it in the linen chambray, and I really, really love that print. You've got sort of boats, little houses, florals on a baby blue background. So this is the Highland wrap dress. Let me get that pattern, by Ellie Olsen. It's that one there. Sorry, I haven't folded it. Well, I have folded it, but it's just a lot thicker than when I bought it. So it's the Ellie Olsen pattern, Highland wrap dress. And you get two variations. You basically get a sleeveless one, or a one with short sleeves, and then you get the maxi length or the midi length. Both sides, both versions have side slits at the side of the leg to enable ease of walking, I suppose. Although I don't think it's actually necessary, because it's a wrap dress, and the wrap fronts kind of move, so you can move easily without putting the slits in. But I think the slits are quite nice because they are mitered. Let me show you if I can. So these are the side slits here, and it goes all the way across to the end, and where the side slit meets the hem, you've got a beautiful mitered corner there. And I think that looks really, really professionally done, and it's actually quite a simple thing to do. If you do buy the instructions or buy the pattern, it's just an easy, literally you just sew across and flip outwards, and you just got that beautiful mitered corner. But it's a good skill to know, I suppose. And this is quite good also for quilting. I suppose if you're a quilter, you would know how to do this kind of thing. So that's both side slits are mitered. And yeah, so I went for the short sleeve version, and I wanted a maxi length, but because I'm quite short, I'm only 5'3", the midi length was actually plenty long for me. Although it didn't touch the ground, it was just sort of above my ankle, which is a perfect height, perfect length for me. So this pattern goes, it starts from this also has a B cup and a D cup, so you don't have to mess around with small bust adjustments or full bust adjustments, unless of course you're outside of those ranges. And it goes from a size 0 to a size 18. And the size 0 is a bust of 30, waist of 26, and a size 18 is a bust of 41 and a waist of 37 inches. So I really, 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 really like this dress. It's made for a woven fabric, not a knit fabric. And the things I like about it, I should really hang this up somehow, right? So the things I like about it, the sleeves. So what I did with the sleeves, I just amended the sleeve head, so I had more of a larger sleeve head, so I could what's the word for this, gather the sleeve head. As you can see, I've got all these little gathers here, and from the side view, when you wear it, you can see that you've got like a little poofy bit there, which I really, really love. I'll pop up some photos of me wearing it. So the dress is has a facing, is it called a facing? Yes, a facing all the way around the neckline, all the way down the sides of both of the skirts. The front panel, the front panels are cut out in one, so this whole panel is one piece, and then the back panel is all one piece. The back bodice is cut into two. You've got the back bodice piece, a waistband, and then the skirt. So now with the waistband here, you do have a waistband, obviously, as I've just said, but there's also an elastic in here, and it allows you to put a gentle gather on the back piece here. I personally don't think it needs it. I think you could just omit the elastic if you wanted to, and then the back skirt piece, you can either narrow it down, cut it down to your sort of waist measurement, or you can put a waist dart in there, I think, and that look quite nice. Does it have any darts? No, it doesn't. Oh, yes, it does have a dart. It has bust darts at the front as well. And what I like about this is it's a real wrap, so it's not a faux wrap. But with a normal wrap dress, you normally feed one of the straps through the side, and then it wraps around your whole body, as it were. But this one, it kind of has like a faux waistband at the back, in the sense that this is a fixed waistband, not part of the wrap wraparound waist tie, which is nice. And then inside you have one button that closes in here, and then another button that closes from the inside. I just think it's a very lovely, well put together pattern. The instructions are very good to follow. And also I think obviously the fabric, because it's a linen, it just was very easy to press. It was really, really nice to work with, and I really, really enjoyed making it. I do have a couple more planned. I want to make a couple of plain ones actually that can go with other items in my wardrobe. So that's that one. The third item I make was actually the rest of these. I've got 3 items here. Actually, I have 4 items that were part of the Selfless Sew April promotional makes. Obviously, I couldn't enter the competition because I'm a co-host. So the first one I made for that was the... Sorry, this hasn't been ironed because my daughter wore it to my brother-in-law's wedding. So this is the... Aldaya dress by Pauline, and it's made up in a navy midnight rosette scuba from Lady McElroy. Again, I adjusted the sleeve head so that you have more gathers and a bit of poof there, and that's that one. I'll pop up a picture of my daughter wearing it. And this is the pattern here. It's the Pauline Aldaya pattern. I do love this pattern. And basically the premise of this is you get 3 bodices. You get like a, what is this called? A princess seam bodice. You get sort of like a V, a wrap, as a faux wrap bodice, and a V-neck bodice. You also get sort of, what are these called? Longer sleeves, elbow sleeves, sleeveless or short sleeves. So you get 3 sleeves, 3 bodices, and 3 different skirts. So you've got like a panelled skirt here. What is this? More like a straight midi skirt, and then you've got like a fitted skirt here. So the premise is you could interchange all of these skirts, bodices and sleeves, and just make as many different combinations as you want, and they all fit perfectly together, which is really, really nice. So the one I made my daughter was this version, but I made it longer, and yeah, she really, really liked it. I have made this pattern before in the same fabric as well, in fact. But yeah, so it's a really good one to sew. The instructions are very, very good. And like I said, yeah, it's a very versatile pattern because you can have so many different combinations here. Really, it's a dress pattern that will really, that is really good value for money in that sense. So that's that one. Any problems with it? So the princess seams are here, you can see that, and then the waist is here. So with the facing, sometimes it does still tend to peek out. I'm not sure if anybody has any tips on how to keep your facing from peeking out. Obviously I have understitched it as they recommend, and I also have tacked it down by the princess seams, but sometimes you can just see just that little bit there is peeping out. I mean, I'm sure nobody else will notice it, but because I've made it, I do tend to notice it. Also, what I didn't do here as well is I didn't unfortunately pattern match. So as you can see here, there's a big flower cut off here. Next time I do make it, I will make a point to have a look at the pattern before I cut it out. Unfortunately, I couldn't recut it because I didn't have any more fabric, but that's that one. The next thing I made was another Selfless Sew April make, and this one was for my other daughter, my 7-year-old daughter. Sorry, this hasn't been ironed either because she's worn this, gosh, probably about 5 times as well this month. So this is the Be Curious dress by Ellie and Mack. Let me just get the pattern out for you. It's that one there. Ellie and Mack Be Curious, and I really, really liked this one here, so I copied it because I did have some chambray in my stash. And here is the one that I made. I made it exactly the same with the long sleeves with the gathered cuffs, which is similar to what I'm wearing right now. The gathered cuffs in my Lyra. And then it's just a normal sort of bodice, gathered skirt, and I don't know if you can see a frill at the bottom. So in the back, I just used navy poppers. And for the lining, I just used some remnant blue floral cotton poplin. Oh, what I did do actually, I did add, I think, 1.5 inches to the bodice because I think it is quite a short bodice there. I think they were going for the vintage style where it's very empire line, and I don't really like that on my daughter, so I did lengthen that. She really, really likes it, and she would like another one in some double gauze that I bought from Pound Fabrics. I will try and squeeze another one of those in for her. In terms of the instructions, yeah, relatively easy, relatively straightforward. So this pattern by Ellie and Mack, it goes from 12 months to big kid 12 years old, which is really, really good. All full colour instructions, and it's a very straightforward sew. So that's that one, the Ellie and Mack Be Curious dress. The next thing I made was the Daddy Mellion hoodie for my godson. And it's this one here. Oh, let me pop up a picture of my daughter, sorry, in the Be Curious dress for you. And then, so this is the Daddy Mellion hoodie that I've made as well. So this is another Selfless So April make. And this is made up in, sorry, I'm all over the place. This chambray, I think it was from Minerva Crafts. It was in my stash from ages ago. And the cotton poplin again, it was just stash fabric. So back to this one, this is made out of a beautiful sweatshirting fabric. Let me show you. So it's got that beautiful brushed, fluffy, fleecy sweatshirting back. And all of the colours are from Pound Fabrics, apart from the mustard, which is from Jelly Fabrics. And I bought these matching ties and little toggle things from Etsy. And that's that. So the pattern for that, I can't actually find the pattern, but I will pop up a picture here. And I like, the reason I bought the patterns because I love the sort of chevron that you get on the bodice and also on the sleeves, which is really, really nice. And as I said, this was a present for my godson. I will pop up a picture of him wearing it. Unfortunately, it was a bit too long for him, like the actual body was too long, and I literally need to cut off like a good 3 inches at the bottom and then readjust the hemband. Is it called the hemband? The waistband. The same with the cuffs. I need to take off about 2 inches and reattach the cuffs. But I don't know if you can notice the hemband, the waistband and the cuffs are actually a different mustard yellow to the sweatshirting, and that really actually quite annoys me. So what I'm thinking, where I'm going to cut it off, instead of using the same fabric that I used for this ribbing, I'm going to use the same sweatshirting fabric and use that as the waistband and the cuff, because it is stretchy enough to work for that, and I think it'll be a better finish all in all. So basically my godson, we went to visit them a couple of weeks ago because we had a wedding in London, and he's asked if I could just cut it short for him, and then we're seeing them again at the end of the month for another family wedding, so then I'll give that to him at the next family wedding that we're going to. Oh, also in the pattern, it doesn't tell you to put well, it tells you to put grommets in, but it doesn't tell you to put interfacing. So I didn't do that, which is really, really silly, because as I put it in, I could see that the sweatshirting fabric was kind of almost starting to pull away from the grommet. So luckily, I thought I had some of this leftover leather, which I got from Leather Needle Thread, my burgundy bucket bag kit, and I had some of this leather, and basically what I did is I took out the grommet, got rid of that, put some interfacing in, kind of almost patchworked it together to create to get rid of the hole that I'd originally made, and then I cut a hole, punched a hole in the leather, punched a new hole in the fabric, put the leather piece on, sewed all the way around it, and then the grommet on top. And actually it was a very good save, because this I think makes it look even more professional. I have seen hoodies with these leather square bits around the grommets for reinforcement, and I think it looks really, really good, and it saved the actual entire thing because it was all done apart from the grommet, and then I had this big massive hole peeping out of the grommet, and I was just really, really disheartened that I thought I'd ruined the whole thing, but I managed to save it. So that's that. Oh, by the way, the Daddy Mellion is a German company, and unfortunately, even though on their website you've got the German and the English, when you buy the pattern there are no English instructions, so I had to use Google Translate to help me follow the instructions. To be fair, I have made lots of hoodies before, so I pretty much knew what I was doing, but for some parts I'm glad that I did Google Translate it, because for example for the for the sleeve pieces, instead of giving you individual pieces, pattern pieces for each of these sleeve sections, what they did is they had like a whole sleeve section and then lines to cut the individual pattern pieces, but then it does tell you that you have to add a seam allowance on every piece, which I probably wouldn't have done had I not read the instructions. So I'm glad that I did. And also I used Generate seam circles, which I got from my So Hayley Jane box. So that was quite nice to actually use that tool to add the seam allowances to these pieces. And I think it was the same for all of the panelled pieces. Actually, you needed to add a seam allowance to that. So that's that one. The next pattern that I made, the next garment that I made, I don't actually have anymore because it's all wrapped up. Well, I do have it, but it's all wrapped up downstairs. It's the Page Hoodie by Chalk and Notch. I will pop up a picture of the hoodie here. This is another Selfless Sew April make, and this one is for my goddaughter. Her birthday was yesterday and we're seeing them on Friday, so hopefully we will be able to give it to her then, and hopefully they'll send a picture and I can post that next time. The pattern is the Page Hoodie. I don't have it at the moment. I'll pop up a picture. So it's a very straightforward, another straightforward hoodie pattern. This one's a Raglan sleeve as well. It's quite difficult to talk about it when I don't have the garment or the actual pattern, but it's a Raglan sleeve pattern. You've got the options. It's actually a cropped version. You've got the options of doing a ribbed waistband, as I did for this one, or you can have like a tie at the bottom if you want. You also have the option to do a normal straight sleeve, or sort of a poofy blousey sleeve, almost like the Tilly and the Buttons Billy. I went for the poofy blousey sleeve, but in hindsight now, I think for future versions I will stick to the straight sleeve, because I just don't think that with a hoodie that the sort of blousey bishop sleeve works with a hoodie. I think if it was just a crew neck sweatshirt, then it would work, but that's just my opinion. What else did I make? So the next thing I made was, this is my latest make. So basically the last week, which is just the last week that was gone, as I say, I was supposed to have made another Adeline wrap dress, which unfortunately I wasn't able to make. So this is from Forget Me Not Patterns, and this was a pattern gifted to me by Joe, Forget Me Not Patterns, with the intention of me using it as a Selfless Sew April garment, and I was going to make it for my daughter. Unfortunately, I was taken ill. When I say I wasn't taken to the hospital or anything, but I just had like a fever and a cough and a cold, and then after I had gotten better, a couple of the children got it, so it was kind of making its way through the family. And so this past week I wasn't able to do this past week, which I had earmarked for making this dress, I wasn't able to do it. So I did contact Joe and I apologized, and I said I wasn't feeling very well and I won't be able to make this dress for the Selfless Sew April challenge. And also I was due to interview her as part of my interview vlogs, and I had to postpone that. So that's something to look forward to as well. Hopefully next week I've rescheduled that interview, so I wasn't able to make that. But come around, what day was it? Around Thursday or Friday, I was feeling quite better. I was just kind of itching to sew, and I thought, what's a quick sew that I can quickly cut up and do in an afternoon. And I thought of the Freya. So now I have so let me show you the Freya. The Freya top is by Tilly and the Buttons in her stretch book, and it's a very simple top. It has how many pieces? Bear with me, I can't find it now. Yes, so the Freya top is, so this is the version I went for, which is the cowl neck version, but I've cut it down to a top. So it literally has a front bodice, back bodice, 2 sleeves and a cowl. So it's a very simple make. I did it all on my overlocker. I cut out I actually traced the pattern, because you get the paper patterns at the back of the book over there. So from tracing the pattern, cutting out the fabric, sewing everything up, hemming and everything, I think it took me one afternoon, and that would probably be about 4 or 5 hours for 2 tops. So the first one I made is this one here. And I'll pop up a picture of me wearing it. And this is made up in a navy blue striped, Breton striped Ponte Roma from Pound Fabrics. And it's actually really, really nice. Like, it feels so lovely inside, so soft and smooth. The stretch is still nice. It's not as rigid as some Pontiromas, but it's not as stretchy as a cotton jersey, for example, or a viscose jersey. But it's really, really nice. And I did, as soon as I put it on, I just loved it so much. I quickly went on the Pound Fabrics website to see if they had any other Pontiroma, but they only had this and also the same fabric, but in the black. And I think the black and the navy look pretty much the same, so I wasn't going to go and buy the black eye as well. But that's that one. And then the second one I made is in a Pontiroma from Rainbow Fabrics Kilburn. I actually saw this fabric in Fabric Godmother, and it was in my basket waiting to go. And then I found it cheaper on Rainbow Fabrics Kilburn, so I purchased it from there instead. And it's basically like a leopard print, and it's like a taupey, mushroomy colour with black leopard print pattern. And I'll pop up a picture of me wearing it. So this Pontiroma is slightly less stretchy. It's not too bad, but also I wouldn't say it was rough on the inside, but it's just not as smooth as the Pound Fabrics Pontiroma, which I've just bought. But anywho, I didn't think I was going to be able to make this and use this because a couple of weeks ago we had such lovely weather. It was just so warm, and you know, I started to get out all my summer things and all my summer sandals. Lo and behold, I think a couple of days after that we had snow, we had sleet, we had everything else. And so I'm quite happy that I've made them now, because I have worn them each twice now because it has still been quite cold. So I'm very happy that I've made them. Like I said, it was both of them were done in the afternoon. Very, very simple construction. What do? You just join the shoulder seams, you attach the sleeves on the flat, which is really good, and you normally do that for stretch fabrics rather than setting in the sleeves as you would for woven fabrics. And then this cowl piece is just made out of 2 fabrics joined around the neck, and then you sew up the arms and the side seams in one go, and then you hem the bottom and hem the cuffs, and that was it. So that's those 2. So I think I've gone through everything that I've made so far. The things that I had in my April plans that I didn't get to do were the, as I say, the Adeline wrap dress from Forget Me Not Patterns. Also the Highland wrap dress. I was supposed to make a second version of this in the fabric down here below. And I've shown you this before. So it's this beautiful Ghee Pure lace in black, which I got from Rainbow Fabrics Kilburn, and a lovely champagne, I think it's called Shantung satin or something. And I was going to make another one of these Highland wrap dresses for a wedding, but I didn't get time to make it because I just didn't have any time, basically. And then I thought I can make it this month, but then I think I don't have any occasion to wear it. I think it's more of a sort of autumn wintry occasion wear dress, and I don't really have anything like that in my diary at the moment. So I think I'll leave that in my stash, and hopefully one day I will make that up into a dress. Maybe not even the Highland wrap dress anymore. We'll see what happens. But that's beautiful fabric. And this Ghee Pure lace in real life, or I say in real life, everywhere else I've seen it before, they're about 20 to 25 pounds a meter. Rainbow Fabrics, I think, was selling it for like $7.99 a meter. They only had it in black, to be fair, but I grabbed that quickly. What else did I not get to finish? All my bag, which was from bagsandpieces.uk. I have started that, and I haven't finished it. So that was supposed to be finished for the wedding that happened a week ago, which unfortunately I wasn't able to finish, but I will now get that done for the other wedding that I'm going to at the end of May, which is another family wedding, another brother-in-law that's getting married. And I think that is it. What else do I have to talk about? So I will have my April, this is my April's makes video. I will also have my May plans video, hopefully recorded and released this week. I also have another interview being released tomorrow with Karen from So Little Time, so that's coming out tomorrow. Oh, also Selfless So April, that's just finished. So we are in the process of, Adele and Claire and I are in the process of going through all of the entries and categorizing them, choosing our winners, and then the remainder of the Entries will then be put into a random draw to win the remainder of the prizes, and we will let you know the results of that by Wednesday, hopefully. And then another Friday so is coming up this Friday, hopefully, so that's that. And just to say as well, I have opened a new Instagram account called my social thread _dstash, and I will be destashing some of my fabric behind me here. I do have quite a lot. I've got wools, I've got lots of viscoses, jerseys, velvets, lots of Lady McElroy, and just various bits that have been in my stash for a while. They were lovely when I bought them, and I really loved them at the time, but now they're just there, and they're not being used. So I am going to destash them. What I will do for my Friday sews going forward, I will show you the fabric, and I can drape it, show you how, you know, fluid it is, sort of the opacity of it and everything. And then I will list them on my social thread _dstash Instagram account at bargain prices. And I will hopefully see you there. If you do want to purchase from me, then I'll put all the details on Instagram and on my Friday sews vlog as well, and hopefully I can destash some of this fabric to make room for new fabric. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you do enjoy the contents of my blog, please do kindly consider liking and subscribing, and in the meantime I hope to see you at my next vlog. Thank you so much. Bye bye.